This dormitory is in a children's home, supported by charity. This is Paul. And Simon.
If they fight me, I think if someone comes up there and starts fighting them, I think it serves their right. Well, I don't like the big boys hitting us and a prefect sending us out for nothing, and the monitors up in the washroom sending us out when there's no talking. And I wasn't talking today, and Brown sent me out for nothing.
I'd like to get married, Paul? Tell me why not.
I don't like, say you had a wife, they say you had to eat what they cooked you, and say I don't like greens, well I don't, and say she said you have to eat what you give, so I don't like greens, say she gives me greens, and that's it. I got 23 three pieces, and I don't know how many halfpenny pieces I got now. What does university mean? I was going to be a policeman, but I thought how hard it would be to join in.
Basketball appeals to me most, but with a school, I'm one of their best players in Form 2. But when I get into a team, they make me look as though I can't play.
Do you remember of England?
It seemed to be raining all the time. I wouldn't stake my life on it, but because I can't remember very much.
He went to Australia to start a new life.
Well, I was going to become a bank accountant, but it's more book-taking than maths, and that was the main reason I was thinking about becoming a panel beater. And I don't know why I've stopped thinking about that. I just haven't made up my mind yet. I was going to be a phys ed teacher, but one of the teachers told me that you had to get up into university.
Were you happy at the children's home in England?
We didn't mind that, really, because we didn't know what was going on, because we were a bit young. I know I prefer to be alone, really. I wouldn't mind living with my brother, you know, but otherwise I'd prefer to live alone. Well, out of my permanent jobs, I'm getting $4.50.
Well, as far as I know, my mother and father they separated originally, I think. They eventually got divorced. I went to the boarding school for 1 year and then we immigrated to Australia. My father got remarried.
How'd you get on with your stepmom?
Pretty well, but like I said before, I mean, I'm not just not close, I'm not really close to my father either.
Paul left the children's home when he was 8. Our other boy stayed until he was 13, Simon. Took Paul and Simon round the buildings which were once the children's home.
I remember this part, but I've never walked down it. It was out of bounds. The only place I saw this from out the windows and that. What was that? That was Hospital Juniors. That's where we used to be.
Really?
Yeah. Remember the tiles?
No, really.
I remember when they were cleaner.
I remember the 2 officers.
Yeah, doctors and the nurses. Something's gone.
The seats.
Yeah, the seats. The smell's gone. Remember Midgley?
Yeah.
He was a real bastard. I remember one night, I forget what I actually did, but he made me clean all the shoes in the house, you know. It was about 50 pair of shoes and it took about 2 hours or something. Ah, do you remember Froggy Page?
No.
He was the tailor. I remember him.
Taylor?
Yeah, he was there for 37 years or something. Bent over backwards or bent over forwards or something.
The golf course.
Yeah,
I used to think about running away over that. I'm too scared.
That's where the headmaster's son used to shoot the squirrels off the trees.
Yeah. Do you remember the boy that, in the senior part, where my brother was, he was sleeping one time and he went out the second-storey window.
Oh, the sleepwalker. Weaver, Robert Weaver.
Yeah, we all had to pray for him.
Yeah. Everybody said he had a steel plate in his head.
Yeah.
How did you
I think I
find
left
Simon
before then.
after you haven't seen him for 14 years?
Well, I didn't recognise him at all, but I think we got along really well. I don't know what he'd say to that, but I found him very likeable. It's the sort of person if I could, I'd like to do something for them, you know, because I feel I've got, no offence to him, but I feel I've got more than him. It's just that it seems to me things have fallen into line there, you know, for me. Everything's started to come good. I've started to enjoy life. You know, I've started to think, well, you know, I'm not a no-hoper. Because I think that's what I've always thought about myself. I know I didn't have any confidence in myself, despite what I said when I was 14. I've always lacked confidence. I still do to a certain extent, but nothing like I did, say, when I was 14. The job I'm in, bricklaying, I enjoy it, and it interests me. And I'm very content at work. In June last year, I was made a junior partner. That was through circumstances, but I look at it this way, I'm not great at bricklaying, right, but if I wasn't good enough, and my boss didn't think I was good enough, he would have never have made me a junior partner. As for the job, you know, you build a house and you turn around and look at it and you say, oh, well, I did that. It's better than sort of having a whole row of figures. It's substance, you know, there's something there. All I want out of life is to be happy, and when I say happy, I want to be happily married as well. Because I can't say I don't want to get married, because I think I do. But I want to be happily married, you know, and therefore I want to make sure, I think.
How would you define happiness? What is it?
Well, basically, to me, it's the will to live, you know. Now, I literally love life. I love people. I think before I didn't. When I was 14, I said, I've forgotten what the question was, but I said something about I want to be alone. And when I said that, I know even now, I meant that. You know, if someone dropped me out in the Sahara Desert, I probably would have been happy, more or less, if you get the point. Whereas I'm not like that now. I just want to be around people. I don't like doing things by myself. And my happiness to me is a love for life and a love for people. You know? I find it hard to express emotion most of the time. Although I'm getting on top of that more now, you know. Just a simple thing to say to sort of Susan, you know, I love you, something like that. I can tell you about it, but I really haven't been able to say it freely to Sue, you know. I suppose that's a weakness, you know. Well, to me it is a dream to be totally happy. I don't think you can expect that, but...
What happens if you don't make that? If you don't ever find them? How
knows.
will you cope?
I don't know. It'd be hard to say, you know. You could... the human mind's very strong and it can be very weak. And so you could crack up from it and you could just live your life out from day to day and you could get over it, sort of thing, you know, I think. Well, not get over it, but you'd cope with it, I think. But what I do, I just don't know. I want to be happy and my dreams are all for happiness, sort of thing. So but basically that's what I want out of life. The houses in Australia, the average sort of living there, it would do me fine. It's terrific.
Did he propose to you?
Yeah, it was strange. We went off and bought the engagement ring first. And then I said to him, you haven't really proposed to me. As you can gather, he's sort of very shy.
What was it that you fell in love with? What is it about him?
His helplessness, I suppose. It was the motherly instinct in me to pick him up and cuddle him. And he's also very good looking, I think, but he doesn't agree with me. And in the summer, he's got this cute little bum in shorts.